So welcome to Airship Aviation. Uh, to the to one of our webinars today, which is saying Air India and Indigo hiring insights for 2025 recruitment. However, fully being fully aware that there has not been a single vacancy which has come out until 2025. Okay, so we'll talk about it. So I'll just be giving you a short introduction about myself. As you would have seen by now, our webinar is slightly different. I'm a captain with more than 10,000 hours of flight experience. I've been here for more than 18 years. I've flown both the Airbus and the Boeings. I'm an instructor as of date. So you're speaking to someone who has a rich experience as far as Indian aviation is concerned. Okay. Uh, so with that, let's get started. We know that you must be at least a CPL holder, or in nowadays, CPL alone is not really going to fetch you a job. You need to go a step ahead and at least be a 320 or a 737 type-rated fellow. In today's date, with the fierce competition that we have, being type-rated alone is also not going to really guarantee you a job. So you need to, what is more that you need to do beyond just being a type-rated pilot are some differentiators. Okay. There are some differentiators in terms of you can have some extra certificate courses on your resume. Something I'm sure most of you would have heard of IATA. So we have some really fantastic and very enriching courses provided by IATA. Now, I'm not campaigning for IATA here, but IATA is a renowned consortium of airlines which provides some very effective and very resourceful courses, which if you guys can do while you're still sitting at home waiting for vacancies, and tomorrow when the vacancies come and you reach the interview stage, and if you have these things mentioned on your resume, it is going to definitely differentiate you from the crowd. Okay, so now what are those courses? There are many. You could, if someone who's interested in, let's say, knowing about what are dangerous goods, you can consider doing DG courses, safety management courses, airside operations courses. There are many courses which you can do. Why I'm mentioning these? Because we spoke about some differentiators. There are some CRM courses, human factors, and crew resource management. So these things would give you that extra edge. Apart from that, the other differentiator uh, is going to be the training that you do. Okay, the quality of training, the understanding of the subjects, the understanding of the aircrafts. There was a time when, and that time was not too far back until a few years back. Let's say around until 3 to 5 years back. As long as you were a type-rated guy and with not great knowledge of, let's say, 320 and 737, but you would still have a great chance to get a job. Today, that thing has completely changed. Okay, so just being a type-rated guy is not going to fetch you a job. You will be made to sit in a group of other type-rated guys, and your technical acumen is going to be checked. If you're brilliant in your technical acumen, they're going to check your leadership skills. If your leadership skills are absolutely brilliant, they're going to check your decision making. Okay, so there are various non-technical factors which have come into the play. So let's move on. As you can see, we'll talk in a gist about the Air India and Indigo hiring insights for 2025. So what are we going to talk? We'll talk about the recruitment trends and expectations. What are the implications for pilots? What Air India and Indigo expect from you? Their written test patterns, key expectations. Again, what are the common mistakes which generally the pilots make? The course overview, study material, any doubt clear, any sort of doubts, technical or non-technical, please feel free. Course offerings and key features of our course. This is the time where I'm gonna just take you for a very short, quick run through of our website, and then I'll throw the floor open, okay, for you all to ask any questions. Guys, so I'm gonna keep moving through these slides a bit faster uh, because, like I said, these are general awareness things which you see. India is set to become the third largest aviation market. Yes, this particular statement you would have heard more often than not, and that's why a lot of you would have decided to enter the CPL, the aviation field. Okay, with the passenger numbers expected to surpass 500 million annually. How does that affect us? Not directly. Indigo. So it's planning to expand to 600 plus aircraft by 2030 with 500 new A320 new aircraft on order, which is a true case. Similarly, for Air India, it's going to be 470 new aircraft planned and a pilot recruitment drive for 1,500 pilots. Now, this 1,500 pilots and 500, 1,500 pilots. I mean, do I know about it like it for surety? No. This is just a math that you sort of multiply the number of aircrafts into the number of set of pilots which are required who can at least fly for 70 to 80 hours a month. So with that is how we have sort of arrived at this figure. Now, guys, you know, Indigo ordering 500 aircrafts and going beyond 500 by even ordering the A350 wide bodies. I'm sure you all are aware of that. They initially ordered 30 with 60 purchase rights. Then they converted another 30 purchase rights into confirmed orders. So now they have 60 firm orders and with 40 more purchase rights pending. As of today, I can tell you that Indigo is again contemplating to even go one step further and probably to convert those purchase rights into firm order again. So don't be surprised if you, in the few weeks to come or maybe months to come, you hear Indigo converting their remaining 40 purchase rights into firm orders and going for more 350s. So, the same as with Air India, 470 is a figure which they had ordered 2 years back. As of today, their order book has also crossed 500. So, long story short, with just two airlines, okay, and here we have not spoken about Akasa. Akasa also has close to around more than 100 737 Maxes on order. I think it's close to around 150. So, three airlines in India having an order book of more than 1,200 aircrafts, which are to be delivered over the next decade. Okay, so we are in 2025 today. They would continue to be delivered by 2035. It's a humongous number. Okay, and yes, in 2025, we are almost on the verge of entering August. We have crossed halfway through this year, and we haven't had a single vacancy which has come. That by no means should hinder or should discourage any one of you. Okay, these recruitment drives have always been, even if you see traditionally, right from 2004, 2005, when there used to be an airline called Deccan, which really was the main reason why there was a boom in aviation. These recruitment drives have always been very cyclical. Okay, they're like a wave. They'll always have some highs and there'll be some lows. Right now, we're in a phase where there's a low. There are reasons to that low. So the only way that this wave is going to go is towards an increase in vacancies. It's just a matter of when. Uh, the Indigo guys who are waiting for their calls to be coming have been given to understand that some of them have got the calls for the continuation for the remaining stages in the month of August and September. If there's anyone who's there with us can confirm if my information on this is true. If someone who is waiting for their Indigo stages to proceed ahead. If not, then that's fine.
Sir, I've been
Uh,
waiting for my GD&, interview. My last round was in January, 8th of January for the adapt. Since then, there has been no confirmation as of now.
Okay, so there have been, some of our previous students, just like how you were in that stage, Akash, have received confirmation for the next stages in the months of September. Okay, so I can confirm that to you. So while there has been a delay for around 6 to 7 months, things have again started to go back on track. So now the moment Indigo finishes their, the previous vacancy selections, you can expect more vacancies to come up subsequently. All right. So let's go back. You said something, Akash?
No, sir, I was just thanking you. Thank you for this.
All right. Okay. So, yeah. So basically, you have a great aircraft order and you need pilots to fly those machines. Every year, there are pilots who are retiring. There are pilots who are resigning and who are going to Middle East. The numbers are, on one hand, even at a very slow rate, reducing. So imagine the numbers reducing with a constant increase in demand. So don't be disheartened. Okay, just don't let these 7 months get over your mind and make you feel very disheartened. Ki boss, there is nothing to do. There is suddenly you will realize that there are going to be so many vacancies that you will end up feeling unprepared for a lot of those vacancies. So it's important that you start your preparation on time and don't let that sense of uh, sense of anxiety sink in. All right, so moving on, Indigo plans to recruit around 2,000 pilots by 2030 and India around 1,500 by the same time. Implication, the airline industry is creating a large number of job opportunities. So as you can see, preparation is key to standing out. Until yesterday, being type rated alone was largely considered to be enough for you to get a job. It's not the case today. That is the reason that airlines like Indigo, after every couple of years, they keep changing their exam patterns. They will either add something new or they will change their platform from adapt to some other platform, or they will either remove some requirement altogether. Why do you think these are all screeners, these are all screening levels because the number of people who are applying, the number of people who are type rated, and the number of people who are type rated are absolutely technically sound. The numbers are only increasing. So you cannot afford to not be prepared. You have to be prepared. Okay. How do you prepare? What are the implications for you all? Okay. So there is a massive growth, but the competition is also fierce. Let's not rule that out. The industry is witnessing a boom, expanding the fleets and creating thousands of new pilot jobs, but these jobs are not going to come in easy. Okay. This also means that candidates are vying for these roles and the competition is tougher. So you need to prepare yourself. Only well-prepared candidates will stand out naturally because the airlines prefer the guys who are job ready, who are confident. Okay, confident in the sense if you are sitting in front of the panel in a interview, are you someone who is stammering after every sentence, or are you someone who's kind of shivering, whose legs are moving, who starts to sweat the moment you have a eye-to-eye engagement with that senior captain or the HR guy or the psychologist who's sitting there in front of you. If you're gonna be any of these are some personality traits which you ought to bring under control before you go to that, personal interview. Because if you don't bring these things under control, there is gonna be a guy who's right after you who'll take that job from you. Because the airlines are not here. Understand, there's a lot of demand at the same time, the supply is even more. So when there is a excess of supply as compared to the demand, you will have to work harder on yourself. All right. So job ready, confident, capable of managing real world flight operations from day one. What is the difference between getting hired and missing out? It's just no longer about having a CPL or TR. That's exactly what I've been telling you. The airlines are looking for pilots who are ready to excel under pressure. So, these GD, group discussion stage, the personal interview stage, one of the important element of what they're trying to check you upon is how do you perform under pressure? Okay. In GD, it is also pressure. It is also your people skills. Are you someone who's very dominating? Are you someone who's a meek person who's only waiting for everybody to listen? Are you a leader yourself, or are you just a follower? Uh, do you feel overwhelmed when people around you are speaking and you just sort of go in a small cocoon, go in a shell, and don't speak out? These are some personality traits. It is not going to be told to you that this is what you're being judged on, but these are the exact things on which you are judged on. Okay, so we have a very robust GD program here at Airship. We train for all the stages accordingly. Then you need to be masters of the SOPs, have in-depth understanding of aircraft systems. Preparation is a key to moving from candidate to employee. All right, so that's enough said. The core competencies that you must have, primarily what both Air India and Indigo, and not just Air India and Indigo, yeah, any other airline, they all expect you all to be having these things. You must have an in-depth knowledge of A320 systems and SOPs. Now, this is only if the vacancies were exclusively for A320 pilots. Indigo uh, and Air India, they keep coming up with CPL vacancies also. Okay, so a lot of you all who are CPL holders and are not type rated yet, I'm trying to say that the in-depth knowledge of your technical systems, different types of flaps, different types of reversers, what is a piston engine, what is a carburetor, your your aerodynamic understanding, the four forces acting on an aircraft, and so on and so forth. You need to be absolutely sure of what you've learned during your CPL. And this is just technical. There are other subjects as well. Like right now, we're in the middle of monsoon. So, what are the three stages of a thunderstorm? Uh, and Now the exam patterns have also changed. Now they are not really interested in knowing, okay, what is the time limit for uh, a dissipating stage of a thunderstorm or a matured stage of a thunderstorm. They know that everybody knows. What they're going to ask you is, how exactly is a thunderstorm a threat to an aircraft? Okay, they want you. In fact, they don't want you. They are judging you. Whether are you able to implement your knowledge about thunderstorm in a real life scenario? Okay, so they're checking you on that. Do you have the basic level capacity or the understanding that if you know what is a thunderstorm, if you know what are the updrafts, the downdrafts, when are the downdrafts more and the updrafts less, what is the dissipating stage, what sort of threats can a thunderstorm pose to an aircraft, be it icing, be it wind shear, be it window arcing, so on and so forth. So if you are able to put things in perspective, if you are able to put 2 plus 2 is 4, then you are an employable candidate for the airline. Okay, so they want to check your handling emergency scenarios, key skills, technical knowledge, and problem solving. Airlines seek pilots who possess strong technical knowledge of aircraft systems. That goes without saying. They also value problem solving abilities, okay, and decision making skills. So, particularly when dealing with unexpected situations, so the example that I gave you was one which fits in over here. So, they'll tell you that you have a thunderstorm at around 40 nautical miles ahead of you, and there's a squall line to your right. The winds are from the left. They'll give you a situation. They just want to understand your basic concept of upwind, downwind, the movement of thunderstorm, and the threats associated. What would you do? These are the questions which they generally ask you in a GD or in a PI. So the understanding of these things are very crucial. And we here at Airship in detail, all the candidates who were previously with us, we have designated specialized courses for personal interview preparation for GD, where we talk about all these things. Then handling pressure. The ability to perform under pressure and make critical decisions is non-negotiable. So again, these are some expectations which the airlines would have from you. Job readiness, airline ready pilots. The Air India and Indigo are not just looking for licensed pilots, they need pilots who are prepared to handle operational demands. What this means for you, uh, understanding the requirements. Okay, so basically, what it means for you is to meet these high standards, it's essential to have more than just a CPL or a type rating. Okay, so don't want to repeat it again. So it all boils down to how prepared you are. You need to engage in hands-on training that focuses on real-world application, system mastery, and problem-solving skills. Going deep into the system knowledge and understanding how each component of the aircraft works in every phase of flight. So when I take you through our airship website quick run through, I'll show you that how we have bifurcated our classes into different systems, different topics. We have study materials available. We have recorded videos available. This is in addition to the live classes which will be conducted whenever a batch is started. And you also have some mock test series. And the mock test series are all tailor-made. We keep updating them month on month or every 2 months from based on our inputs from our students who have just recently, would have given the last Indigo exam or the Air India exam. So our patterns are always updated. All right. So what are the written test patterns? It's mentioned 2025, but then that's what it was in 2024, and that's what it's going to be for any subsequent exams which are going to come. The written test mainly focuses on aircraft systems knowledge, which is true, including fire protection, ice and rain protection, pneumatics, aviation theory, climatology, temperature, humidity. I mean, it's just generic, basically systems met. So there are some topics which are not asked even in your written examination. Okay, so those systems are like what? So just give me yeah. So there are some systems, like your relative bearing, what is a QDM, your CPPNR, uh, something very elementary like what is an oblate spheroid, the shape of the Earth. These are yesteryear's questions. They're not asked anymore. They may just be very simply asked by the captains who sit there in the interview, just so to check whether are you just so highly prepared that you have forgotten your basic stuff. So they may intervene, they may just simply interject one very small petty question sometimes. But these questions are not going to be asked in your written exams. All right. Then multiple choice and short answer questions will assess your theoretical knowledge, while the practical scenarios will test your ability to apply knowledge under pressure, like the one regarding thunderstorm. Similarly, had it been November, December, January, they would have brought in the radiation fog concept. That if you have a radiation fog, what are the threats associated to an aircraft? Okay, icing, visibility, slant visibility, RVR, transmissometer, what is the LVTO, what is the different type of category of landings, cat 1, 2, 3. What do you understand by DA, MDA? What is the CDFA, CD and CANPA approach? Difference between CDFA and CANPA. So they both are largely the same, but there is a minor difference. So these things, these questions. Then you have preparation tips. The written test for Indigo Air India will test your practical flight operations. Preparing with A320 system knowledge and SOPs is key to passing these exams. All right, then what are the airlines looking for in you all? First of all, they check that how well do you adhere to the SOPs. Okay, so no airline wants a pilot who believes in being a rebel. They're not looking for rebels. Okay, they're not looking for rebels. They're looking for pilots who are not, who are not against the concept of SOPs, who want to follow the treaded path. They're not looking for pilots who want to reinvent the wheel. It is said that the treaded path is the safest path. So that is what the airlines are looking for. And there are various means of checking that. Written exam is just one part of it. Thereafter, subsequently, they'll give you such scenarios in your discussions in a GD and a PI that they'll try and figure that personality trait in you. But are you someone who is the very against the SOPs, or are you someone who, in every situation, believes in falling back on the dotted line, what's written in the book? Okay, so they want the pilots who are there to SOPs, whether in normal situations or it's an emergency situations. Okay, then the airline expect pilots to be prepared for engine failures, hydraulic malfunctions, electrical issues, and other emergencies. Again, this is specifically for type rated guys. When we say engine failures, hydraulic malfunctions, electrical issues, when our type rated batch is commenced, all these things are discussed in detail. Each and every emergency that you have in the FCTM, that you have in the QRH, the one which is of relevance, the one which gives you a land ASAP in red, the one which gives you a land ASAP in amber. Okay, all your ECAM, ICAS warnings, they're all discussed, the ones which are of criticality, because they form an important element of written examination pattern as well as PIs. All right, then airlines prioritize pilots who are proficient in following SOPs, handling in normal situations. So just a reiteration. Uh, Hands-on training. While simulators are useful for practice, thorough hands-on training and deep system knowledge are essential. So it's just a repeat. Common mistakes what pilots make and how to avoid them. First is not mastering the SOPs and aircraft systems. Okay, so generally there's a tendency of guys going for their examination or subsequently for interview at a preparation level which is just too basic in nature. Okay, so they'll just start with, let's say, pre-flight scan and know the items until after start, thinking that nobody is really going to ask them that what are the anti-icing conditions, when do you switch on the anti-ice, or they think that for me at this stage, for the interviewer to ask me that why does the THS not work in a green plus yellow failure in a 320, whereas it is available in a green plus blue failure. Okay, so the guys who are 320 type rated will understand what I'm trying to say. So they that is why they're sitting there, guys, because the supply is too much. The level of interviews, the level of written examination is only going to go up. It's not going to come down. They will only dilute it when the demand is more and the supply is not there. When the demand is there, but the supply is overwhelming the demand, then the level of examinations is only going to go up. It's not going to come down. They will go deeper. They will ask you that how do you identify a unreliable ADR? Okay, how do you check what is the that speed in knots which is written in the bracket right next to your N1 setting in flaps 1, 1 plus F, in flaps 2, in flaps 3. Okay, so they want you to have some sort of understanding so that if you are asked a question, you're not cutting a sorry face and just looking here and there and having no answer. Even if you can just simply make two statements on it, okay, sir, that's because we are not sure which indicated airspeed is the correct one. We are trying to identify that which of the airspeed scales, whether PFD1, PFD2, or the standby, is showing a speed which is close to the speed mentioned in the QRH. So if you can try and make some sense of these things, then you're through the interview. Okay. So that's why it's important that please master your SOPs for every phase, for every item, your aircraft systems. And when we teach here in airship, we touch upon all the aircraft systems. However, we stress more on the bigger aircraft systems, like hydraulics, electrical, your indicating and recording systems, because traditionally there have been a lot of questions which have been asked on few specific chapters. So there is a certain level of importance which is given on certain chapters and slightly lesser importance on certain chapters. So that is something which we keep modulating in-house. It's not like that we are going to give you a full type rating here. No, it's the intent is to make it crisp to the point without wasting time. All right. So failing to fully understand these concepts can cost you during written exams. If your preparation is inadequate, okay, many pilots fail because they don't dedicate enough time to practice abnormal procedures or studying system knowledge in depth. So again, for type-rated guys, they do ask you abnormal questions also based on 320 and 737. It's not just very elementary thing that they'll ask you a limitation or a memory item and they'll move on. No, they do ask you a understanding also why in a green plus blue, you have this. However, in a green plus yellow, you don't have this. Why do they ask you to switch off the auto thrust in a green plus blue, but they don't ask you to switch off the auto thrust in green plus yellow? Okay, so there are reasons. They do ask you these questions. Lack of preparation for interview. A great resume and technical knowledge aren't enough. Poor communication and nervousness can derail your chances, even if you're technical skilled. So this is exactly what I told you a few slides back. You may be technically sound, but if you've started to sweat because someone is looking eye to eye, right in your eyes, and you sort of panicked. There's an anxiety attack which you're experiencing. You've lost the plot. So here, when during our PI classes, we try and contain them. We have individual interview sessions. We tell you your areas of improvement, your areas of strength, and we work upon your weaknesses. How to fix them? Please master the SOPs. Dive deep into the SOPs and systems. Interview preparation, practice clear communication, technical explanations, handling pressure situations with confidence. So something as small as the way I'm talking with you all guys, there needs to be a certain rate of speech. You cannot be, if you're extremely fluent in spoken English, well enough, but then you need to make sure that your rate of speech is crisp, is clear, is impactful. Okay, you need to give the right pauses. You need to uh, make it a high tone at some point, and you bring it down to a low tone at some point. Okay, so if you are extremely fluent in English and your rate of speech is very fast, again, you're a fail. If you are someone who's not really great with spoken English, however, knows exactly the rate at which you need to, space your wordings or your sentences, you'll be through. So these minor things is for that psychologist who's sitting there. Okay, for that HR guy who's sitting there. So they also have a job when they're sitting in that interview panel. So these small petty things are something, are the things which we discuss here in airship when our courses are run. Okay, so what do we offer? Uh, we have A320, CPL, 737 training, which is focused on equipping you with the knowledge needed to meet the Air India and Indigo's recruitment standards. Includes 100 plus mock tests covering all the exam topics and sim check preparations. We have Adapt and CAS Compass, which comes in AIX Express recruitment drive to prepare for your GD, PI, and HR sessions. Why it's essential? Our training program covers everything you need to succeed. Yes, it is because a lot of our students previously have already been inducted in Indigo and are in the various phases of getting, their training rolling in iFly. Okay, then we got our study material and doubt clearance sessions as well. We have detailed manuals, guides, interactive resources to master your A320 systems and SOPs. We have 80 plus mock tests on specific topics like electrical systems, auto-flight hydraulics. And then once you're all ready, we have multiple numbers of doubt clearance sessions as well. Flexible learning allows our courses are fully online. So that's our USP, guys. We don't have any physical classes available, allowing you to learn from anywhere at your own pace. Whether you're a beginner or an experienced pilot looking to specialize, our online platform makes it easy. Okay, we have pre-recorded sessions. You can access them so that you can watch at your own convenience, allowing you to learn at a pace that suits your schedule. So, like I said, if you're someone who's currently employed somewhere in a corporate job, or even if you're not, if you're a freelancer, uh, our online courses and pre-recorded sessions are something that, let's say you are nice and comfortable, you've had your dinner, you've freshened up, and you're just laying on your bed, or just sitting, at your table at 9 o'clock in the evening, and you just feel like going through the classes which you missed today in the morning. You can simply log in. The recorded sessions will be available of the class which you missed today, or let's say just a day before yesterday. So, uh, in a matter of 24 hours, our sessions are up and running on our website so that you can catch up. You can increase the speed to 1.5, 2 times, stop, pause, make your notes, and then carry on. Okay. This is in addition to the live classes. All live sessions are recorded and available for later review. So you can revisit complex topics and reinforce your learning as needed. All right, guys. So, our online platform also ensures that you have 24/7 access to all study materials. Our 320 CPL 73 DGC courses are customized to cater to your specific career goals. Whether you're pursuing a cadet program or direct entry, our curriculum is designed to get you job ready. Okay, guys. So you can see this, I hope. All right. So as you can see, friends, the moment you click our website, airshipaviation.com, you will be uh, brought to this page. This is how it's going to look. Once you log in with your credentials, you will log in to your. Okay, so coming back, first page is this. Then you log in. Once you log in, you'll be brought on this page. As you can see, it says, "Hi, Kush, welcome to Airship Aviation Academy. My name is not Kush. Just in case anyone, if you think that you've seen my name, that's one of my other teammates' name. So once you're here, you'll have to click on My Enrollments. The moment you come to My Enrollments, so like right now, I've been given access to a few of them because I keep conducting the webinars right now. So let's say September end or October, uh, we've gotten to know that Indigo has come out with a CPL level airline recruitment drive. Okay. The 320 guys can also apply for it. The CPL guys can also apply for it. So that is where we'll be having, yeah. So as you can see, CPL preparatory class. All right. So this is what we clicked on the right. If you follow, um, if you want to follow me with the cursor which you see on the screen, you'll see metrology classes. There are a total of 10 lessons associated with two tests, two mock tests. Then you have technical general, 7 lessons, 4 tests, air regulation, general navigation, radio navigation and instrument, CPL study material, it goes on, and then you have mock tests. So this whole complete package is for someone who has done a CPL, who is now has applied for, let's say, Air India Express or Air India or Akasa or Indigo's CPL only written examination. Okay, so these are our recorded classes. Like I said, this is not the only thing which you'll be getting. You will be having live online classes also. Okay, this is just a batch which was recorded previously. So in the metrology classes, the topics, this is one subject. So we cover this subject, and there are some dedicated topics. The topics are selected from historical data from the previous examinations which were conducted by Indigo, Air India, and the trend which is existing. So like right now, as you can see here, it's atmosphere, day-to-day physics, Earth and solar system and pressure, temperature and humidity, visibility, clouds and winds, tropical revolving storms, air masses and fronts, ice accretion, and so on and so forth. These videos could either be 50 minutes, 31 minutes, 54 minutes, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, depends. Okay, it depends on how topic heavy that particular class is. So once we have done that, I'm gonna click this. The problem here is when we are having a Zoom meet for some backend IT glitch. The video you'll be able to hear the voices. However, the video will not play. The video plays. It's only today that we are having the Zoom meet. You most likely will not be able to see the video. However, let me just still try. Okay, so as you can see, that is again this particular trial class which you see here is regarding the understanding of the Jepson charts, right from your 10-9 to 11-1, 12-1, 13-1. Why are they, in terms of numbers, nomenclatured in such a way that they're called 10-9, 11-1, 12-1? So this class was conducted by me only. The sound that you hear, the voice that you hear is mine. However, the video, like I said, because we're having this Zoom online meet webinar right now, the video is not playing. But otherwise, the video plays. All these videos they play. Uh, but anyways, getting back to the point, this is how our videos are recorded. Then we have technical general classes, basics of aerodynamics, principles of flight, flight control, revision, propeller, jet engine. So this is how the topics are covered. Air regulation, similarly, rules of air, hypoxia, ventilation, runway lighting, search and rescue, flight planning and revision. Then you have CPL study material. Now, study material is in PDF, so let's say day-to-day physics. So this is how our study material is loaded. It is properly designed for you all and only the relevant topics from various sources, from our own in-house experience, from the research that we've done, from the secondary sources that we have used, from the already available material, which is there. We have tried to trickle it down to the relevant topics. Instead of bombarding you with full 500 pages, 600 pages, we have tried to cut it down to only those topics from where historically the questions had been asked, plus a few additional topics which our in-house instructors team, which I'm a part of, we decide, okay, we need to include these topics because these are sort of important. Okay, so this is how our content is available, nice and colorful, well laid out, all available for with someone who has the access. Okay, next is heating of atmosphere. Okay, so this is how we have our content over here, and then in the end, once you're done with all this, then you have access to few mock test series as well. So the moment you click take a test, it's gonna take you to some set of guidelines, and then once you press start test, it will have an access to the test. Now these tests are not irrelevant in any sense. All these mock tests include those direct questions which were asked in the examinations from the last 2 to 3 years in different examinations, maybe it Indigo or Air India Expresses. So while you're doing these tests, you're actually practicing those same very questions which were asked in the exams. Okay, so they are high importance. So this is a very well structured curriculum we have from our classes to the live recordings, then to the content which you can self study, and culminating with a test so that you all can check on your own knowledge. Okay, so this is how our classes here are for CPL. Same is, it's somewhat the same for 320 preparatory classes also. The only difference in 320 preparatory classes that everything is related to 320. You will see hydraulic system, like as you can see, APO hydraulics, door and fire protection, pneumatics, ice and rain protection, landing gear, IRS, navigation. So as you can see, all the 320 type-rated guys will be able to see that these are all familiar names. Manuals, and these classes at that point in time were conducted by me. Now, as you see, this manuals, Air India took the whole aviation recruitment world by storm in 2022 when they started asking questions on something as petty and as small as what does the arrow mean on the uh, you know page margin. The page margin, the footers, it included the way they were indexed was there is a letter written A or B, and then there would be arrow to the left, arrow to the right. They would ask you questions here. What do you mean by this arrow? What do you mean by layer one, layer two, layer three? What do you mean by the black boxes which are on the sides of ECAM warnings? Now, why are there are some boxes which are black in color? Why are there some boxes which are red in color? Okay, so these small questions which no one ever imagined because everyone was only prepared with systems, limitations, memory actions, abnormals. But no one ever imagined that they could go one step ahead and go absolutely berserk and ask you some ridiculous questions. So that's when a lot of people did not make the cut in the first couple of vacancies, which started in May 2022. So that is when we realized, okay, we need to create, a sort of content on manuals as well. So as you can see, This is that manual's content. FCOM, what are the four sections? What is the aircraft allocation table, information types and layers, layer one, layer two, layer three? What is the explanation for each layer? You see this? Why are the boxes on the sides in red, gray background, black color? What is the meaning? So all these things were covered. So we keep ourselves absolutely abreast with the current.
So I wanted to ask you, does clearing a ATPL exam papers also give you an edge?
Absolutely, why not? It's uh, it's a higher category of license, and uh, there are so many people who have cleared their ATPLs. Until previously, the problem was the validity was only 2.5 years. So a lot of guys ended up clearing it, then did not get a job for, unfortunately, for 2 years. Then when they got a job, the airline recruitment, internal recruitment, and the training itself took around 6 months, 8 months, 10 months, and by the time they got released, their
Mhm.
exams, which they had cleared 2 years back, started lapsing. But now that problem is not there. Now the validities have gone up to 5 years. So, so if you clear your ATPL exam today, and in a scenario which is existing today, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to point the lack of vacancies in the 6 months. I'm trying to point the more than 1,000 aircrafts on order and the vacancies being just around the corner. It's a very good time to actually clear your ATPL exams. Why not? Because one of the pet questions of the HR person who's sitting there in the interview is that uh, what did you do during these during this lull time, during these last 6 months, during 2025? What exactly? How did you make yourself available, or how did you what all productive things did you do in 2025? So if you have nothing to say, then I'm sorry, you already lost the edge. But if you say that I spent the whole year clearing all my ATPL exams, so I've cleared my ATPL exams, so that's a major boom. Absolutely, yes. See, if you're a 320 guy, you can might as well, I would say, sort of still be a part of CPL. Why I say that is when the vacancies for 320s come up, 320 preparatory, sorry, 320 recruitment drive is commenced by Indigo. It's not that we are only going to cover 320. We will be covering CPL elements of it as well. Okay. However, when the airline is coming up with CPL vacancies only, then we are naturally not going to cover 320 because we know 320 is not going to be asked. However, if there is someone who's 320 type rated, nothing stops you from filling up for these vacancies as well and be a part of the group. So,
Sir, I just want to understand. You said these vacancy drives are cyclic in nature. Sometimes they're high, sometimes they're low. So
mm,
what I'm really confused, sir, because the FDTL requirements now, because of the FDTL requirements, more pilots need to be hired. And
mm,
as you said, India is going to be the third largest airline industry, right behind America and China. So
mhm.
I'm confused, like, why are people not hiring? Like, we have so many good news, and why are there so many delays? Then why are no vacancies coming? Like, what's the reason behind all this?
Yeah, the reasons, there are multiple reasons. I'll tell, I'm not going to describe because now we're running short of time. However, I can tell you that one is uh, the aircraft orders, they take time to deliver. Okay, the assembly lines are full. If you see the order books, Boeing and Airbus, they go ahead and they take orders worth hundreds of aircrafts, but then their delivery schedules run into many years. So you're not getting the aircrafts at a pace that you would have expected them to come to you. If I start recruiting thinking that I'll have five 320s every month, but now I've recruited, let's say, 100 guys, okay, thinking that I'll have five 320s every month, but in reality, I only end up getting one 320 per month. So now I'm sitting on a pile of extra pilots with me, right? So it's a cost to the company. So this is one of the reasons many a times they take a step back, then takes two steps ahead, then they'll take one step back, then they'll two steps ahead. Another reason is your geopolitical issues. In 2024, when these guys had placed these orders, specifically Air India, they didn't know that there's going to be a Iran-Israel war. There's going to be a Yemen and Houthi interference, and there's going to be such a prolonged Russia-Ukraine war. Then they'll have an Indo-Pak something which happened in May. These things, geopolitical tensions, they cause a disruption in airline network, and their planning goes for a haywire. Like in Air India, I'm sure all of us, the tragic crash which happened on the 12th. So with that, Air India has gone on a back seat. They've reduced their international frequencies by 15%. They are still not reinstated. There has been a enhanced maintenance check by DGCA on Air India and at large on all the airlines. Then there was the runway excursion which happened in Mumbai. So there are things which add up to your scrutiny, because of which the airlines are forced to reduce their frequencies. So when they reduce their frequencies, they have more aircrafts having idle time on ground. Okay, their pilots who are on the payroll right now themselves are not flying 50, 60 hours. So as a result, they also cut down on their anticipated vacancies. So let's say if internally Air India would have decided that we are going to come out with a vacancy in August, I'm sure they would have now deferred it to, let's say, November and December. Okay, with these things. So there are various factors which are at play. Sometimes because of these wars and all, the fuel prices go so high that airlines say that, boss, we were planning to start a Delhi to Manchester flight, a Delhi to Rome flight, might as well just hold back with our plans to, let's say, 6 months later. Okay, so that's why I call these vacancies cyclical. That by no means, by no means it means that they are not going to be back. They will be back. They have always come back. But this is why this undulating cyclical vacancies is, what I was referring to.